Hello everyone, here's my quick first update here. So before painting and doing anything, what I just did a little bit of dry fitting here of the interior cockpit to see if any of those ejector pin marks, which are here, are visible at all, if I need to address them at all. And judging from the dry fitting, I would say not. So you have these bulkheads, which are kind of cover it up a little bit. Over here you're going to have the bolt turret, and that's going to cover up anything that's there. Really, you're not going to see much in there. And once the two sides are together, it will be extremely difficult to really see the inside of these pin marks. Because when these are on top, these are, since this is curved like this, the ejection pin mark is here, out of sight. So your angle of view as you're looking through it, it's really not visible. So I'm not going to worry about those ejector pin marks. Also, some of the details which they tell you to put on together, I mean, it's really going to be not visible once you assemble the kit. Like, for example, here where you got the firewall, the engine mount here, and you have this, I guess, oil tank or water tank that's here, along with whatever this is, which is here. Now, once you seal this up, you're not going to see that whatsoever. So this is something that you can just skip as far as painting is concerned. You still need to put together the bulkheads and the bracing here because you're going to mount the engine to here later. So you do have to assemble these 1, 2, 3 pieces together so you can put it here. But you can skip this and skip the painting here. Also, I went through here and I just highlighted anything that says green, either interior green or field green. This is a TBM-3 built by Eastern Airlines division of General Motors, so late war. So at that point, as far as what I have read so far, all the entire interior was painted interior green, not a combination of interior green, field green, or bronze green. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so my next step after this, I'm going to go ahead and put on the coat of green of all the stuff that goes inside. All right, I'll be back. All right, so here I'm back here with my interior green painted parts, or some of them anyway. Just to show you, so here's the interior of the fuselage, the bomb bay doors, which I still have to cut in half. But I just want to bring your attention to these 3 pieces here. So this is the main cockpit. As I mentioned before, this interior part here, you're not going to see whatsoever, so I didn't bother painting it, just glued it on. It'll be hidden with the cowling, be hidden with the engine, so don't bother with that. But I did put the front back, so I can have it stand here, and now I'll add on the other pieces, which I do have here. As you see, though, these are all the interior for the cockpit here, including the instrument panel, and I'll be applying those shortly after this. So here's the bomb bay. Now you do have to attach all these little struts here. Now if you have it open, you do need to the bomb bay. If you have it closed, I don't know if you need it or not. You might still need it for support, just to give you some support when you put the bomb bay door on. And of course, then you don't have to worry about painting it if you're gonna have it closed. I would just say about these that once you put them on, let them dry. The glue, because they're kind of fragile. They're very easy to knock down. Just let them dry fully. Same thing with the parts on either end. Just let it dry fully before handling it. And I just kind of side it down the edge there just to make sure they're all lined up correctly in both directions as best as possible. Alright, so the gun turret, which you see here. This is a little model unto itself, kind of. It's a lot of little parts here, as you can see. And they're not all clear exactly how it goes together, so I'm just going to zoom in here. Keep the focus. So you can see the gun here, just holding here by the barrel. Of course, I'll have to go back here and paint up. This is the a clear portion here. Just have it taped up to keep it clean, but everything else here is painted. Now the instructions here tell you to put the seat to this and just being held together by this little tab. Being held by this little tab. Then put this to here. It doesn't really give you too much clear indication about it. Then to put the gun, and then to collapse the gun. I think it's better to have the gun in these 3 pieces. Put that together first, and then attach the seat in these pieces. And now I just took a little figuring out, playing with the geometry of it to get it to sit right. So I just wanted to show you there how it looks like in the final piece here. So it does go together at the end. It's just a little fiddly, all these little small parts. So you just do have to be careful when you're gluing it together. especially if you have sausage fingers or whatnot. It can get pretty difficult, but it's not impossible. As you can see by the end result here of the gun. So this is one thing that you really need to take your time with, test fit, to figure out how best to put together for yourself on your end, depending on your hands and your handling capabilities. But otherwise it goes well. So my next step is to put on all the other little small bits and bobs in the interior, and then seal everything, and then paint all the details, and then get ready the interior portion. So I will be back with that. Thank you. Alright, welcome back, and here we are with most of the interior here assembled. So before I close it up, just to show you how everything looks like, a lot of this you're not going to see once it's all closed up. One thing I wish I had done, and which I don't have, is put some seat belts on the seat there. So it's kind of naked without it. So I don't. Maybe I'll store some sometime during the build and put them in after the fact. See how easy that is. Here is the turret, the top gun turret that I had mentioned, highlighted before. Here is painted. Remove the tape protecting the clear piece there. So that's the finished piece. Unfortunately, once you put the turret glass on top, it's not that much of it you're going to see, but you'll still get the effect of it. And here's the turret top. I did get the masks. Let me see, where are they? Which are these masks from Edward for this kit, and that's what I used for the turret here. I first painted the interior green. You can see that on the inside, and then I painted the blue here. What I'm going to do is, once I assemble this, I'm going to remask this and do the whole fuselage part, assemble that. Alright, so I'm not going to remove the Edward mask. I'm going to keep them on throughout the build. And this, just to show you how much little pieces you have here. So that's a lot to be masking manually. So I think having these masks by Edward is worth the cost. Makes it a whole lot easier. I mean, here for the turret alone, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 21 pieces of masking just for that little small turret alone. So just to give you an idea. Alright, so my next step is just to seal this up, the fuselage, put everything together, and be ready for the next step. Alright, so I'll be right back. Thank you. Hello, just real quick, so as you see, I put the two halves together. I mean, this is just press fit for the time being, just to show you how it looks like just by doing a press fit without even any glue. The rear portion here, I mean, lines up pretty well. I mean, there's hardly a seam there. I mean, there is a seam that has to be taken care of, so you got to glue all this together, but in the back end, everything was fine. When you're putting this together, if you're doing this kit, just be very mindful of all these tabs. You got these cross pieces, and you got the tabs inside. Just slowly put everything together. Everything should line up. I thought I would have a problem doing it, but for me, it lined up pretty well. I just make sure that everything was lined up through the holes. Everything was lined up. The bulkheads here was all nice and straight, and so forth. Same thing with the seat inside and the platform for the turret gun, and everything just came together. The tabs for the turret gun and this, I mean, there's a lot of friction here, so it's being which helps putting it together, because it just holds everything nicely and help tight. I mean, you still have to squeeze in once you go to glue it and clamp it, but it does a pretty good job with these tabs and the friction fit. So the thing here I see right now that I'm going to probably need the most work is here in the front. Just gluing this and manipulating it so that this and this part here of the front all lines up and fits correctly. So what I'm going to do first is just glue this, make sure this is nice and set, and then squeeze this in here and manipulate it to get it in there. Now once you put the cowling on, which is here, you're going to see most of that engine, all that engine detail is just going to be gone, disappear from sight, and that is all you're going to see here, just the front part. Now obviously, you can probably do some scratch building, cut out some panels, see the insides, maybe do a little maintenance dial. I mean, I think the kit gives you a good starting place for that, just add in some scratch building and so forth. All right. Another thing to point out, I have the cowling out here. It does have the engraved, focus, mesh there. So this is something you want to get photo etch for. Cut that out and put some photo etch in there. So you got the good looking mesh there, right? Alright, so let me glue this up and I'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. Here I am. I've glued the two halves together and attached the cowling here. I did have to do some work here. As you see, some putty, some sanding, rescribing here in the nose. And here, especially at the bottom. I think the fit issue that I have in your nose is just the way that I assembled it. If I were doing this again, let me just show you here in the instructions. Get the right page, sorry. When it comes to gluing, for example, this part here, this front part, which is the part that's here behind the cowling, I probably would have left that off, glue the two halves together nice, make sure that was a nice good tight seam, then attach that, and then attach the cowling. I think I would have had less problems doing it that way. But at the end, it's all together. And as I said, it's not much of the engine that you see once everything is put together there. And then I had to do a little putty work here just to make sure everything was lined up and sanded correctly with the holes here for the exhausts. The exhaust pipes will cover up some of that anyway. So that's that. I started the wings and the wing roots here, the horizontal stabilizers. Everything goes well together. Now when I was cutting these off the sprue on this one, I did a good job of cutting off the sprue and just a little bit of sanding, maybe a little light rescribing, that's fine. The other one here where you see the white, a little bit of white putty, I cut a little bit too close to the sprue tabs and ended up marking the, gouging the plastic, so I had to do a little bit of filler in there. But the fit between the wing, if you were to do this just, with the wings unfolded, deployed, the fit seems to be pretty good between the wing and the folding mechanism here. So if you want to do it that way, I think it'd be fine. I am thinking I'm going to do this with the wings folded. One reason, takes up less space on the shelf, to be honest, and just to look different. But I'll still probably going to put the rockets underneath. The hole's already there. In real life, you probably would not have the rockets there with the wings folded. But again, it's my kit, my model. I'll be on display on my shelf, so that's the way I'm going to do it. Here in the flaps here, this has a separate flap, so even though I think it's molded so you can do it, with the flaps up, you could do it flaps down, but you do have a lot of, I think those are supposed, I don't know, those are supposed to be part of the details or ejection pin marks there that you see there in the light there. So I don't know. Either way, the flaps will be up in my case, so they'll be covered up. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. My next step is just to put on the wing roots, finish the other wing, and I guess start masking and painting, or at least priming. I do have to mask all the glass, go do that first, and I'll show you that. Just one thing, as you're cutting these things off the tab, as I mentioned before, I had a little problem with the cutting it too close to the tab. So just be careful when you're cutting these pieces off, that you're cutting these, cut them a little bit away from the edges, like so, and then work on cleaning up those remaining pieces there, like that. In my case, what I did, I just came up really close like that, and just lightly zipping. If there's a little bit left there, I'll just go ahead and sand that off. Okay? Alright, so I'll be back in a few. Alright, thank you. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention about the wing halves when you go to glue them together. Here in the front, on both wings, I have this little gap here. What I found out on the other wing, that gap has mostly to do with this here, the wheels, walls. So what I did, I just filed it down a little bit. Sorry. Just give it a little bit of light sanding, and then press fit it again, and just went back and forth until that gap was gone. The other thing also to mention is that on the top half of the wing, one of the attachment points here for the sprue is on the inner surface, that little bump you see there. So you just got to be careful removing that. For that, I would not use my sprue cutters to do this because you'll most likely damage it. What I did, I just took a metal file, flat file, and just slowly, gently just file the majority of that off, like so. So the metal file, plastic doesn't take that long to file down. That's what I'm saying, just go lightly and just keep filing it down, and then I just finish it off with a regular sander and get that nice and smooth, and then both halves go together nicely. Alright, as I did with the other wing here. That I have a nice seal there. Okay, alright, that was it. Alright, be right back. Hello and welcome back. As you see, I've done quite some progress since the last little bit here. Just to explain what I did all the masking of the canopy, put them on. There was no drama in putting the canopy on or the mask, so that went fine. I remasked up the interior here, ready for painting. I did some pre-shading here on the aircraft, top and bottom, in anticipation of that. Putting on the wing stubs here, they fit extremely well. Just a little bit of glue along the edges. There's no putty whatsoever in there, so the fit was really good. The two tabs that you saw sticking out at either side, I mean, they help align everything and keep everything there very well. Same thing with the main landing gear, putting them on. No issues, straightforward as per the instructions. Might just do a little bit of fiddling, maybe just a slight little bit of sanding to get in to slide in there well, but I mean, otherwise, I mean, it really went down pretty well. Wings, everything here. The rest of the canopies all painted. I also painted the interior green, as you see on the exterior. Just tape on the inside to protect it, then I'll do the rest of the painting. One thing I want to point out on these external tanks, when you're putting them on, assembling them here in the instructions, there are two very identical looking pieces here, the brackets. They are separate, and they are keyed to fit in a specific way on the holes on the other side of the wings. So you gotta be careful about that. Same thing with this part here. This is supposed to fit flush up against the lower part of the wing, and specifically they go, I don't know what you can see here, these holes, these first two holes you see here, that's where the tanks go. So you gotta be careful when you're putting on these parts. Put them in the right order and right. You'll know they're right because when you look it down, they all look aligned. And this will fit in there, keyed, and if you can see, oops, sorry, it will sit flush. It should sit flush like that. Focus, there you go. Alright, so that's how that should be sitting on that, and just make sure obviously that's all aligned straight, you know, with the aircraft flow. Alright, so just something to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to let everything here dry off completely, and then I'll start the painting, which I'll pick up on the next segment of this video. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Take care.